You noble diggers, all stand up now.
Hello, my friends. Today we will be talking about Jake Needs to Apologize, or some housekeeping. The other day, I talked about Zara Sultana, and I called her Zoe Sultana, and I'm very embarrassed. I mostly listen to British politics. Reading is not worth it. The Economist is a rag for British millionaires, and the BBC is completely populated by drunks who are so ashamed of their existence that they, like I was just saying, they have to get blackout drunk every night to be able to do what they do, which they know is damning them to eternity in hell. And even the LBC, right? The LBC is just some MI6 cooked up op to pretend that there's some independence aside from the BBC, right? But all the cast of stupid characters is the same, right? I have no favorite voice in Britain. I think they're all stupid. Um, I listen to James O'Brien, but only because I need a reference, right? Not because I think he has anything interesting to say. He is a liberal who has helped enable fascism. He has helped enable the genocide in Gaza. He's a cretin. He's a spineless cretin. But Zara Sultana, right? She's got real cojones. She's got real metal in her.
Whoever governs Singapore must have that iron in him, or give it up. This is not a game of cards. This is your life and mine.
She was talking about seizing the banks and nationalizing industries, and I said that's a good first step. I mean, you need to go further. You need to proscript the non-royal dukes. Right? You need to promise Kier to the Hague to the British people. Right? There's strength. Right? The chimps will reach out for the strongest branch. They don't want half measures, and you need to keep pushing Jeremy Corbyn outside of his comfort zone. Right? Don't ask permission, ask forgiveness too. But aside from Zara Sultana in that video, I also mentioned Ibrahim Traoré. I think I called him Traoré in that video. I've only ever read his name. I do read African politics because they're worth reading, unlike the British politics, as I was just saying. Ibrahim Traoré is a 37-year-old, I think you could call him dictator, president of Burkina Faso, right? I don't see dictator as a negative term, right? It is a term that is reliant on the dictator himself, right? Cincinnatus was a dictator, and he's one of the greatest men in history, right? It's all about how you use the power. When it comes time to give it up, how gracefully do you do it, right? Ibrahim Traoré is 37, and when he was 34 and a captain in the military of Burkina Faso, he led a coup against the Burkina Faso government because the president was collaborating with French Nazis, right? With French imperialists, were stealing the resources from his people. So he couped his president, tossed him out, and has been leading ever since. And he's done an incredible job, right? And I'm bringing him up in the context of Zara Sultana, that hopefully that the Commonwealth will start to look to real leaders like Traoré for guidance, and not people like Sultana, right? Who has the right impetus, but does not have the backbone to go the full distance, right? And by the full distance, I mean capital distance, right? So here are 3 things that Traoré has done since tossing his president out that I just think are so incredible, right? He's nationalized the gold industry. Gold is huge in Burkina Faso. Before the coup, they were not even getting $1 billion a year out of the ground for the people of Burkina Faso. Right? It was just going to France. And since then, his government has extracted $18 billion plus of gold out of the ground for the people of Burkina Faso, right? Gold in a vault with the bricks allows you to borrow money, right? Which means that you can invest in your people's future. It's called leverage. It's called surety. Canada can't even have a gold reserve constitutionally, right? And I believe that that constitutional provision was set up because we want to better ameliorate ourselves with our American overlords, right? No sovereignty here. The next thing Traoré did was the tomato paste thing, which is just incredible. He set up a factory that produces tomato paste locally.
The first cans of tomato concentrate made in Burkina from the tomato processing plant in Bobo Dioulasso, Burkina's second-largest city. Local tomato processing is now a reality thanks to contributions from the local population. This venture into value addition will create great opportunities not only for the city, but for the country.
Right? Which sounds just so petty and small to most people, I'm sure, right? But it's a preserved food that you can build locally, right? It completely liberates your economy as long as it remains standing, because money becomes much more imaginary when you can dip in and out of resources and assign the value that you need for that moment while keeping the market's value in mind, right? The tomato paste will be much more valuable to the people, but the usage of the tomato paste will be valuable to the government of Burkina Faso rather than just holding it like the gold. He's also, produced tractors for the people for agriculture. He's also
Captain Ibrahim Traoré has done it again. The 35-year-old leader just delivered a second batch of 500 tractors to the farmers of Burkina Faso. This follows last year's giveaway of 500 tractors, all part
to put up apartment buildings for housing, right? In a war-torn West African landlocked nation, he's done these things. And I can't get them done, can't have them done in the imperial core. It's embarrassing, right? We should be helping them. They shouldn't be guiding us with their example. And then the last thing he did, which I love, right, is he deeply disrespected the old commander of AFRICOM, right? The Joint Unified Commands of America are basically like the old armies of the Roman Empire, right? You had the armies on the Rhine, the armies on the Danube, the armies in Syria, and they would each have a praetor or a general promoted to command that area, right? Like a temporary field command. And the guy who was running AFRICOM, Mike E. Langley, is black, right? And so it was just so satisfying to watch Traoré treat him like most people would treat the Sam Jackson character from Django Unchained.
Burkina Faso's gold, it doesn't concern him. Second thing, he's lying. Because Burkina Faso never had any gold reserves until we came along. We are the ones who started setting aside gold for the treasury of Burkina Faso. Otherwise, there wasn't a single gram of gold reserves in Burkina. That means he's a liar again. Another thing, when he says we use it to protect ourselves and all that, we are free. If the people have decided that we should govern them, we have a duty to protect ourselves. So we are free. What business is it of his? And the part that hurt me the most, not because he's a general or because he's American or anything like that, but because he's black.
Right? And it's so inspiring, right? How can you pretend to be a man, General Langley, while you are serving as an Uncle Tom, right? Helping to repress minorities. That must be so embarrassing. I would feel such shame, like shame of an existential sort. Yeah, he's a great man. Traoré is a great man. We can learn a lot from him. But I want our leaders to do it. I don't want to just be inspired by this West African struggle, right? I want to be able to cooperate and trade with them and say, what are we doing together? What is our goal in the stars together, right? Thank you. Have a good day. Hello, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you. This channel has one mission: to prevent civilizational collapse associated with climate change, to prevent 100 million refugees by 2035, to stop 7 billion from starving to death by 2075. And we will do this through one main vehicle. We mean to unite the Anglosphere. We will do this by convincing the Commonwealth of His Majesty King Charles III to apply for statehood as one. And then with this new power, we will be able to negotiate in good faith with the rest of the world on how to tackle this crisis. Thank you and enjoy.
And I'm right and everybody knows it.
We need re-education camps, bro. We might need re-education.
I'm not so sure a gulag was a bad idea. Come to think of it, this is making me understand a lot of things I previously did not understand. I never used to understand authoritarian left movements. I'd be like, why are you authoritarian? Just be like libertarian left. Listening to these motherfuckers.